Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zach and Sean and Ryan are talking about movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to MovieFilm. This is episode 35, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zaki Hassan, and I'm joined once more by Brian Hall.
Well, look at what the catfish dragged in.
Very nice. I guess I am.
He's not really Brian Hall. He's a catfish.
And Sean Coyle is here.
Shut up, Mom! God damn, that's some cold shit.
Ooh,
I think we actually caught him in the middle of something.
Awkward. Wait, that's from High Fidelity.
That's
That
correct.
is High Fidelity. Nice. And
Good job,
we're
Zaki. also
also joined after a very long break by Paul Shirey.
All right. Let's boo-boo.
Now, Paul, you've assumed a new title since the last time we talked to you.
Has it been that long?
It has
Yeah.
been that
God.
long. So
Wow.
last time we chatted, you were news editor at JoeBlow.com, which is still a very prestigious title. But now you've been kicked upstairs. You've become the man. You've become that which you fought against.
Well, the opposite, actually. But yes.
You are
Yes,
editor in
indeed.
chief of JoeBlow.com.
Yes.
So
Yes,
tell us
I
about
am.
that. What does your new title entail?
A lot, actually.
Mhm.
I don't drive to work anymore, which is
Awesome.
wonderful. So I get out of bed and I take 5 steps and I'm at work, which is cool, and it sounds very cool, especially to people that have to commute and go and sit in cubicles all day, as I've had to do in the past. But the truth is, I work my ass off. That's the truth. I honestly work anywhere from 12 to 15 hours a day, and that's not an exaggeration of the truth.
Wow.
I get up about 5:30 and jump on the site, and a lot of it is like updating, basically doing your, any kind of editorial duties that you would expect from somebody that runs a site, and that is, just making sure everything's up to snuff, make sure everything is flowing, all the links are working, and all that other stuff, because I have, such a large staff of writers that are all putting up content, and they generally, they're putting it up on their own, and then I just, I oversee it and make sure it's good to go, and see if there's any problems and whatnot. So that takes up a very large portion of my day. But then beyond that, I still write. So I actually still write a 4-hour shift. So I do all of my normal duties while I'm writing, which is, an additional challenge. It's a good challenge, but definitely very different. And then the other biggest part is really emails. Emails like crazy. So, I talk to a lot of studio reps. I talk to anybody and everybody. I get requests, to run content from, high level studio stuff all the way down to, guys just starting out and just trying to get their name out there. So, I hear from all manner of people all throughout the day. And that's pretty much it. But I mean, that is a lot, and it just takes up a lot of time. And honestly, I love it. I love every second of it. It is.
Well,
You are Joe Blow, essentially, right? Like,
Well, I mean,
for all intents and
yeah,
purposes. There's another
I
guy,
don't
but-
take. Yeah. I mean, I'm not Joe Blow. Joe Blow is, he's the site owner. He's the guy that started this whole thing in his, essentially in a small bedroom in Montreal. It's kind of amazing. When I went there to visit, and I saw like where Joe Blow began, I'm like, wow, this really is kind of amazing to me. As like, a major, because I was a fan of the site for forever. Like,
Yeah.
Since it started in '95, I went there every day. It was just like the site. And, but yeah, he's still, like, that's his name. Like, is not his real name, but, he is Joe Blow. He's the man. And
But he's like handed over the operation to you, correct?
Yes, yeah. I mean, essentially he's focused more on, bigger things. And,
Nice.
I run, basically, well, there's no basic about it. I mean, I run the site day to day, and, I still confer with him and work with him. And
That's cool.
we go back and forth, but essentially it's me running the show, so you can blame everything on me.
well, Paul, you had a little adventure last week. This is probably the perks of your gig.
I did indeed. A very surreal experience. Went to London to have essentially recreate the bar crawl from The World's End at the actual sites where the movie was shot, the actual pubs, and then had lunch with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, which was
That's called winning
amazing.
the week, I think.
It's really funny because we got the invite. It came in through my email, and I looked at it, and I read the email, and I was kind of like them in the movie. I was like, what? Going through, it's like I had to read it again. I was like, wait, is this accurate? And then I confer with the big man on that stuff, and I was just kind of like, man, I was like, what do you think? This sounds like a can't miss. And it wasn't like I gotta go. It's got to be me. But I felt it was important to go. We don't make any secret about being huge fans of Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. The site we're very, very friendly with those guys, and we know a lot of our guys, a lot of our staff, including Joe Blow himself. They know Edgar, and we have very good relationships. So it's kind of like this isn't something you want to miss. This is it's a tremendous opportunity, and it's great to keep up those relations with those guys and let them know that hey, Joe Blow is a huge fan. We love we love working with you guys. We love representing like the stuff that you do and putting it on the site. So, that comes across. You're like, man, somebody has to go to this. And
You're like, I guess I got to bite the bullet here. Take one
well,
for the team.
we had somebody else was going to go initially, and then he couldn't make it. So it came down to who are we going to send? And we just kind of felt that this was something that we really. We wanted to send somebody that would, really represent the site well, and with tons of great people that could do that. But it just came down to, after some discussion, we're like, it needs to be you. And I was like, oh, man.
He slept
I don't
on
know.
it. Sleepless
Okay.
night as he thought about it.
Yeah.
So it was you and a collection of other people from sites, right? And then Universal set this thing up, like this pub crawl for you. Like, how was it?
Correct. Yeah,
So I mean, were you like
Universal-
as like a guided tour sort of thing, or how did that? How did they direct you? How did it go down?
It's the Universal reps, who are all great ladies. Just a great group of ladies that were from Universal that basically set the whole thing up. And you get there, and I mean they send they send you your itinerary, they send you your hotel and like everything. They had a car pick me up from the house, it was very, very cool. So fancy. And
Damn, they managed that on 2 continents.
I'm telling you, dude, I had cars picking me up at London to take me to the airport as well. I was like, this is crazy. But no, they're really cool. And then once you get there, they had an itinerary in terms of like, hey, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing. They had transportation set up, like everything, like start to finish. The second you hit the ground to the second you left, it was bam, 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 all knocked out. So yeah, for the pub crawl, they had already arranged. Like they went the day before, reconned, and met with everybody and said, hey, we're bringing a bunch of journos here, and and it's funny because they're like, what I found is that the Londoners, the English, I don't know what the hell they give their specific name is, but they are not as big of fans, it seems, of Pegg, Frost, and Wright as we Americans are. We are, because we're very kind of obsessive about them. You're like, oh, they're great, because I'm like that. I'm like, oh, they could do no wrong, but they're a little different, and like I met the bar owner of the first one, which was the first post in the film, and it's called the Pear Tree in real life. But everything else looks exactly the same. It was like the one where it's like, just you walk in, you're like, wow, this is like that first scene where they walk into the first post the first time.
Yeah.
And I got in there, I was like, this is so surreal. And the bar owner was a female, and I was talking to her, and she's like, what are you all doing here? She's like, why are you guys here? We're like, oh, we're just, have you seen The World's End? And she's like, no, I haven't. Like, and I was like, oh, you don't like the world, like you don't like Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, Nick Frost? She's like, I don't really. She's like, no, I live here upstairs, and I guess she had like some run-ins with them when they were filming or something, like, like she was, because like she didn't really get it. She wasn't like wowed and wooed by like a movie set, in her bar. She was like, I just want to work, and all these guys are here, and. So she wasn't like all starstruck. She was more like, when are these guys gonna leave so I can just get back to work?
That's hilarious.
I was like, so you don't like The World's End? You don't like the Pegg Frost movie? She's like, no. She's like, have you seen Smurfs 2? And I was like, oh no, no. Like, you're not serious.
It'd be funny if it turned into like this misunderstanding where it's like, "Hi, Ellery, what's going on? Something about the world ending. I don't know."
Yeah. right. Well, that's interesting. So they're just like one of their many celebrities, and we've latched onto them, so they stand out to us because they're from across the pond. But to them, it's like that was their identity thief of that year.
Yeah,
like, that came out, I think.
Yeah, it was strange. Like even when I got to the airport and I was going through customs, you show your passport, and like, what the hell are you doing here? And I was like, I'm a journalist. I'm here for this. You have kind of a spiel that you give to the customs agent, just like, so you just give me my stamp so I can go. And I was like, yeah, it's for The World's End, the movie. And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, I haven't seen it yet. I was like, what? I was like, I was there opening night, man. I was there Thursday night at midnight. But
how funny.
Guys like, oh yeah, whatever. Take Frost, all right. Like, okay. And the funny thing is that at each bar we went to, I think except for one, each one of them had the stereotypical, like, drunk old man who had tons of stories. I was like, I almost thought Universal planted these guys. On that
Right.
I was like,
right.
I was like, man, they really went all out for this experience. Because the first guy, Larry, I even remember his name. He's like, oh, and he's like telling us, he's like, I used to work in Hollywood. It's like, I got Bob Hoskins' autograph once, and he's like, fuck all, I don't want to sign, I'm busy. And then some of the other guys, some of the other sites, they were shooting stand-ups. They had like video and stuff because they were doing video content, and they were outside the pub shooting it, and I was like talking to Larry, my new buddy, and I was like, hey, I was like, you should go out there, act like a zombie, and just walk through their shot. He's like, you think I should? I was like, I really do. And he's like, I'm gonna do it. And he walked out there and he had his beer. You take your beer outside there, in America they'll tackle you trying to walk out the pub with an alcohol in your hand. And he's walking in the dude's shot. He like headlocks the guy and pulls him out of the shot. I was like, wow, I did that. I asked him to do it.
Wait. So
You're
that
welcome.
begs the question: how many pubs did you guys visit?
We did 5 total.
Wow.
So it was an abbreviated pub crawl because each one that we went to were the ones that were closest in proximity.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones they shot way further out, so it would have been a lot longer drive to hit them all. But we hit the first post, and then we went to. Look, I have my list here still. The Doctor's Tonic, which was the old familiar. Then we went to the Two Willows, and that was the.
They should have just kept the real names.
Right.
Well, each one had like a little piece of nostalgia from the shoot, but not as much as you would think. Like I think like in America, like, I'm gonna get a billboard and I'm gonna have this, and we're gonna have props. But they're like, oh yeah, Rick and Will just framed this sign here. Don't put it there. Nice. And then like the first one, the pear tree, they had a stand up like what you would see at a movie theater, a big cardboard stand up at the World's End, and it was like chucked in the back, like, just like hanging in the corner. Like, oh yeah, they came here, saw a movie. No big deal. Like, yeah.
Well, what was the sit down like with the actors?
The sit down was really, really cool. We went to this pub called the Clarence, which was like not even like an eighth of a mile away from our hotel, and it was upstairs in the Clarence. And I remember just walking up, and there's Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Unmistakable, and they were just so like relaxed. They're just like, hey, we're just here to have lunch. It's not like they had trumpets playing to like announce their entrance, and they just sat down. And first thing they said, the rep said, they're like, you have your name tag is at the table, so you gotta find out where you sit. And I was like, everybody's like, where am I sitting? Better be a good seat. I looked over and I see mine. I see Paul Shirey, JoeBlow.com, right next to Simon Pegg, and I was just like, yes, like, so nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And then Nick Frost was sitting directly across from me, so I was, it's like cornetto sandwich. Worked out quite well.
That was my nickname in high school, the Cornetto sandwich.
We need to hear that story.
Yeah, you guys know, and Paul, I got to interview them when they were out here in the Bay Area, and very much echo what you say. They're just so chill, they're just, it's like hanging out with some guys,
Yeah, Yeah, it's not like say or how I've seen. I've never interviewed him, but I've seen like Bruce Willis interviews. Where it just looks
Right.
I don't
It's,
ever
like,
want to
painful.
interview Bruce Willis after.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking that today. I was like, what if we got like I was like, hey, we have exclusive. You want to interview Bruce Willis? And I was kind of like, pass. You know.
What a shame.
If I want to
Yeah,
do
really.
that, it's kind of It's unfortunate, man. It's really
Yeah.
it really is.
Well, I got to say,
Yeah.
it was really fun. I mean, being personal friends with you on Facebook, I got to see the pictures a little early. I was like, oh, it's really fun. And then it was fun to read your account on
Yeah.
Joe Blow. 'Cause I've been reading Joe Blow since, like, the year 2000, so
Nice.
a long-time
That's what I
fan.
like
So
to
it was really fun. And I have to say, because I saw the movie in the theaters, and I loved it. And I didn't even know it was coming out on Blu-ray. I didn't know what the release date was. And reading all of this got me, like, pumped up to check it out again. So
Nice.
totally worked.
Yeah.
If the Universal reps are listening, they're gonna be very happy.
Yeah. Sean's planning on seeing it in about 18 months, I believe.
Yeah, Sean will catch up. He still has to go see Avatar, I believe. I think that's
No. It's on Apple TV now. I can check it out anytime.
Ah, there we go.
The Apple TV reps are like,
in Sean's
yes.
defense, Sean's been pretty busy with the new gig himself. Sean, can you share some of that?
Yeah. I am the new mascot of the Fresno State University Bulldogs.
Nice.
Finally.
Oh, congrats.
Finally paid off.
No. Daddy scored his first directing gig.
Nice.
Daddy scored.
How about that?
You made it sound dirty somehow. I don't know.
Really.
No, but that is awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It is season 2, which you won't get to see any of the finished work until probably like August or September. But it's season 2 of The Awesomes, which is an animated series on Hulu,
Nice.
created by Seth Meyers and Michael Shoemaker from Saturday Night Live, and features pretty much the entire cast of Saturday Night Live. It's an animated superhero cartoon. It's awesome, and I'm directing season 2, so it's been kind of surreal. Just like directing is something that I think we've all been interested and have done before on much smaller scales. Kind of doing our own things and whatnot. But it's just weird being the guy who makes a lot of the decisions. Not all the decisions, but there's
The ones that matter.
Exactly. The important ones.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's
the
just
ones
funny
that can
because
sink you.
I've known you for a long, long time, Sean, and this is how your brain works, and it's nice to see you finally at a job that is suited to your brain.
Well, thank you very much.
And I really mean that. I mean that seriously. It's really cool.
Not for sure. I mean, I basically get to sit in my office and draw storyboards all day and design characters and like literally make cartoons all day. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good,
Really
good
rad.
work if you can get it.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't film related, but my latest production is Baby Number 4, and
Dun, dun, dun.
and we're in lockdown mode right now because basically I could get up in the middle of this broadcast potentially. So it might fall on you guys to finish the show without me. My wife is sitting in one spot, afraid to move, lest
That would be a hell of a show right there
it would
Yeah.
be.
if that happened.
Take off the training wheels. So
Baby watch.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
we weren't kidding before. We're gonna be phoning in, getting updates if we have to do the show without you
I'll be Skyping in with you guys while the baby's
from
being
the
delivered.
delivery room.
That's the level of dedication I have to this show.
Yeah. Who's that woman yelling in the background?
Yeah.
Oh my
This is
God! There's so
terrible
much
radio.
blood.
Why is she screaming profanities at you, Zachy? I don't understand. You know what's happened with the previous 3 is that they've all arrived exactly 3 weeks before the due date, and we are now 3 weeks plus before the due date. So that's why it's could be interesting. So
Wow.
Any day.
well, regardless, as we try to do with each episode, we start things off with listener letters. And
Holy crap! We're recording. I forgot we were actually recording.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I forgot what we were doing.
So these are some letters that we got at our email address, which is moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. And this is from David, who's one of our regulars, and he says, "Hi guys, you've told the story of how Zachy and Sean met. How does Brian fit in?" And
Sexually.
I don't.
What?
wow, Sean took it to a weird place. Now it's fortuitous that Paul is here because Paul, you were there when we met Brian. Me, and Sean were together when we met Brian.
Wasn't it? Was it
I was
Sean?
not there with you guys.
It was-
Jarrell
yeah,
was
Sean
I don't
was
think
not
Sean
there.
was.
It was
Sean,
at
you
Hula
were-
Hands, right? Is that not right?
Yep.
It was. That's right. It was at
I
Hula
remember-
Hands.
Substitute Jarrell.
Yeah. Well, you guys were at the restaurant Hula Hands in Wheaton, Illinois.
Well, Sean's
and I
making
was,
films
your
now,
server.
so
Brian, you were our server,
'Cause I
Yeah.
got timing.
and and it was pretty much like, hey, you're cool. You want to be friends? And that's
Yeah, we just kind of hit it. I don't remember why we were actually chatting, but then through chatting we found out that we were going to be in a class together.
That's okay. So here's what
Yeah.
happened. So I thought Sean was there, but yeah, it was me, Paul, and another friend, Jarrell. And at the time, Paul and Jarrell worked at the TV station at College of DuPage. I was paid by that TV station, but I did not actually do any work, as Paul and
Zachy
Jarrell would tell you.
read comic books, watched TV, chatted
Played
on
with
Merc,
action figures.
and played with action figures all at the same time, mind you. You should have been paid just for that skill alone.
So we were done with work, and then, or you guys were done with work. I was tagging along with you, and then we went to Hula Hands, and Brian was our server. We were talking about movies. Brian was a movie fan. This was summer of '99, so this was like the summer that Phantom Menace came out, and I think I'm assuming the conversation was something to do with that. And then literally the following week, the next quarter started at COD, and we were in the same class. And we knew, like, we had talked about, oh, yeah, we're going to be in this class. And that's how we became friends. And then that's pretty much how it started, right? And then 4 years later...
We found out in that class, we sort of discovered, I mean, when you go to a film class at a community college, there's sort of like your token players. Like you have the old person, you have like the one person
one
who makes the film
female.
about suicide.
The one
And
female.
then you have like...
The one female everybody fights over.
And then the one female nobody fights over.
That's true. Yeah, it's one or the other.
But no,
I
but
think-
we
I
just
think I
found that
slept with
our
every
sort of
female.
sensibilities all aligned, and then eventually we were
Which
doing
is not a
projects
lot.
for class, but then we were doing projects on our own. And
Yeah.
I remember you guys were making a movie there after hours, like the college. I mean, thinking of it now, it's like unfathomable, but like the college let you guys film a movie once they were shut down at night.
And we
Yeah,
were
I was
running
going in
around
there.
with guns. We had, like,
Yeah,
fake, realistic-looking guns.
yeah. And we were running around this college shooting this movie.
Wait, which movie was this? Was this just a student short?
I mean,
That was
geez.
something freaky, right?
We had a long list. Yeah, it was that horror movie.
Oh, you're talking about a WDCB. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell
Right.
this story that I'm
I
like,
don't think you could get away with that today.
oh
No
yeah,
way.
not a prayer. No way. This is the pre 9/11 wilderness of the late '90s.
Yeah,
You know,
very
but
different.
I always tell the story of how Brian was my server at Hula Hands, and then 4 years later he was one of the best men at my wedding. So
Yeah,
it's funny how life works sometimes.
yeah.
I
Man,
remember
I
taking
can't believe how
but-
much we
yeah.
got away with.
that. Oh, yeah.
Now,
Oh,
just
it's-
thinking about that. I mean, when we were shooting the masterpiece known as Painted Rocks, I mean, just the stuff. I mean, the stuff that we had going on in that studio alone, if WDCB knew. And I don't think they ever did.
I don't think
That
so.
was-
They
that
would
was
they would have
amazing.
stopped us cold.
It was like a full-on huge production, like every weekend, often weeknights.
Yeah.
Like tons of kids just running around, screwing around with this, all
And, I
this
mean-
expensive equipment.
Going like late into the night, early into the morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
no-
I mean, we'd be leaving there like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, and no one was
We were
the
making-
wiser.
We were making films.
So yeah, that's where I fit in.
Yeah.
Well, there was that class that we took, that class called video journaling, and
Yep.
it was Zachy and I just remember thinking like what Brian was saying, those personalities. I just remember thinking, like, looking around the class, being like, yeah, we're gonna own this class. and then this guy named Brian Hall gets up and shows his video, and it was really, really funny. And it was just kind of this, like that keep your friends close but your enemies closer kind of thing.
Oh, now it all comes out.
Here it is.
Sean's like, I love him, yet I must kill him.
Someday for
We
sport.
if we cannot kill him, we will control him.
Is it true that if I kill you, I become you?
I miss
So,
Kevin, out of
we
this.
have another
all
letter
miss
here.
you.
This is from Kendra, who's also one of our regular writers, and she says, just catching up on older episodes, and your comments on the Jaws sequels, I guess, were hilarious. You should pick more bad movies to critique. Very funny. And I was actually thinking about this because last episode, Brian turned me on to this podcast called How Did This Get Made? And I'm sure you guys have heard it. I know, Brian, you have. Paul, have you ever listened to that podcast?
I have not.
Oh, it's great. It's hilarious.
Highly recommended.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Ask me if I
so
listen
funny.
to it.
I've heard of it. I just haven't heard it. So
Yeah, it's. I mean, I blazed through about 20 episodes just in the 2 weeks since we last recorded, and it reminded me of how on this show we used to have a segment called the movie film crapshoot, and that kind of fell by the wayside just because we've had other stuff. And I listened to this other show, and I'm like, well, we have no business doing a bad movie segment.
I remember. I think I even brought that up at the time. I was like, I listen to this podcast, and there's just no way I can compete with what they're doing.
It's absolutely brilliant. I was listening to an episode just earlier this week about Demolition Man.
what?
And-
How dare they?
Oh, you got to hear this. Brian, I'm sure you've heard that one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very, very funny. But yeah, that's actually why we're doing kind of the underrated and overlooked segment instead, because we're trying to be like the uplifting opposite version of that. Because
That's an interesting thing that you say. Like, there's a lot of that stuff going on right now. Like, you have the honest trailers and
Right.
what's wrong with whatever in 6 minutes and all that other
Right,
stuff. And
right.
I get a good laugh out of some of that stuff, but it really feels like a lot of like the online culture has kind of taken a nosedive of cynicism, and
Right.
Yeah.
you start to get away from like what we're all talking about, which is films that which is a craft that we love. And it's okay to poke fun from time to time, but it feels like a lot of folks are kind of like just making a living off hating films
Right.
rather than actually appreciating them. So that's definitely something I've tried to get away from in terms of just nitpicking and doing all that other stuff all the time, because it just gets ugly after a while.
Yeah,
You
because
can
that's
have
never
fun.
how I watch a movie. Like, I never want a movie to fail. Like, and if I don't like a movie, I'd rather talk about why it didn't work for me rather than why I hate it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I don't want to pick on it.
Right.
You know, I just want. I'll just talk
Exactly.
about why I felt like it didn't work for me.
Unless it's
Sure.
I, Frankenstein, right, Brian? In
Hey.
which case, batter up.
He would smell so bad.
Again, my biggest critique of that movie, he's sewn together from corpses and he looks like Aaron Eckhart.
Have you seen it? Have you guys seen it already?
I
No.
haven't yet. I don't know what I'll do it when I get the press invite. I don't know if that's something I'm going to rush
They
out.
invite you to Transylvania, like Paul. You know,
That's one of the things too. Is like set visits and stuff like that. They sound so awesome when you read about them.
Right.
But then it's like, that level of awesome doesn't always equal out to like what the final product of the film is going to be. So
that would be hard. I mean, if you get like wined and dined, and
Well,
then you
but
don't
that's
like
essentially
the
what
final
it is.
product. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd
dude,
be.
It happens all the time. My reviewers will see a movie, and I'll talk to them. I'll be like, "Hey, what'd you think?" They're like, "Oh my god, it was a pile of shit." And I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Really? It was bad?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they'll hate it. And then but the studios and stuff, they always want to know. They're like, "What did you think? Was it good?" And
Yeah.
we're never
tough.
like, "Yeah, no, it was a pile of shit." It's like, no, they never
Well,
just
yeah.
put that out there.
Well, I mean, yeah, because like whenever I go to a screening, there's always the rep right outside, and they want to get my take, and I mean, I want to be as honest as possible. If I don't like it, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
You spit on their shoes.
But well, I mean, that's the thing, right? You want to offer like, well, it didn't work for me on this level, but I could see it work. Like, yeah, I mean, it's like you're talking to a person, so it's easier online to do the
Yeah.
the
it
honest
was
trailers
pretty
version
good.
of.
Until you get home, you're like, I'm gonna rip this one a new one. Tearing
Well,
it apart.
it's tough. I mean, I had that experience earlier this year with Jobs, right? The Ashton Kutcher Jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's it's not easy to Yeah, that's a good example of a movie where I tried to be like, well, he tried. God bless him. Bless his heart. He tried.
It's a tough balance. It's a tough balance when you're involved in, the journalism aspect and actually reporting on that stuff. It's a game changer,
Yeah.
You just, and you've got to be careful to retain that integrity. Otherwise, you kind of become a shill.
Right.
And you don't want to do that, you want to retain that. It's like, and, fortunately, I mean, at least, certainly for our site, it's definitely something we retain. It's like, we're not going to, this ain't going to be pretty. So just go ahead and tune in for the Homeland review next week.
So let's talk up some new releases very quickly. Now, have you guys had a chance to catch up on anything, Brian?
Well, I didn't see a new release, but I saw an older film that I'd been wanting to see. It's a smaller movie called Robot and Frank. I don't know if you guys have heard of this.
I've heard of it. I
haven't
know nothing
seen it.
about it. I know nothing
Yeah,
about
it's Frank Langella, Liv Tyler.
A robot.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Why can't I
Robot.
think? Cyclops from X-Men. I can't think of his name.
it. James Marsden?
James Marsden's in it. Yeah. So it's a movie about this old man who's sort of beginning to lose his mind a little bit of dementia, and so his son gets him this robot helper. And in the man's younger years, he was a cat burglar. And so when he gets this robot, he is resistant to it at first, but then realizes that maybe this robot could help him rob again. And so he actually becomes sort of like pals with it. And it's funny because it's sort of a subdued movie. I mean, before I even looked it up, I was like, this is totally this guy's first movie. You could just tell the director's first movie because sometimes shots held for a little too long or they looked a little too beautiful, like distractingly beautiful, where it was like he was probably in love with the shot, but it didn't really need to be there kind of thing.
Yeah.
But all that aside, like I really enjoyed it, like quite a bit. It's just about 90 minutes. It's a sweet little movie if you're looking for something a little bit different, a little quieter, and just kind of nice. And it takes a little bit of a turn at the end I wasn't expecting, and pretty. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Let me ask you this: does James Marsden die or get screwed over at the end of the movie?
He doesn't die.
Oh, man.
So, all right then. Just wanted to make sure that he didn't change course and actually, survive or get lucky and have a happy ending or anything.
But he does.
I ain't gonna watch it if that's the case.
Does he have more screen time in this than all 3 X-Men movies? Because
Possibly.
I think that would be very easy.
Yeah, but no, this was one of those smaller films that was a little harder to find in the theater, and now it's available on Netflix.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
I remember someone wrote in a little while ago and said we want us to talk about, some of the not bigger releases, some of the smaller things that were out there that were a little off the beaten path, and this is definitely one of those movies.
Nice.
So I recommend it.
Paul, anything new that you've caught recently?
You know what I recently saw that I still can't really shake is The Way Back.
Loved it. Awesome
Actually,
movie.
I watched it on the plane, and I've heard a lot of people like, yeah, they're trying to be like all retro, and it's just, they're trying too hard. And I totally disagree. I had such a great time with it, and it had it just hit all those like familiar beats of nostalgia while still telling a story that stood on its own. And Sam Rockwell is just amazing in it, as always. But what I liked about Sam Rockwell in this one is, though, even though he plays like this enigmatic kind of carefree guy, he still has a lot of moments where he reels it in. And it's kind of rare because a lot of times it seems like, well, we got Sam Rockwell, let's just have him just be nuts, But in this one, I feel like there was a good balance of him kind of being crazy and then him being just like normal and like a really good character for the film. I just had a great soundtrack, great performances from everybody, and it was one of those films where you're really you root for people.
Yeah.
And that's what I really liked about it. It was really great. After I watched it, I went and bought the soundtrack right away. It had lots of really cool old tunes and new tunes, and it was just a really good feel-good film. And it was just so rare to find those.
Yeah,
anymore.
and
It
it was a little disappointing to me that this one was kind of ignored in theaters when it came out. But then again, it wasn't that surprising to me because it isn't really a movie that people check out in theaters. But I got to interview Nat Fax and Jim Rash about it last summer. And
Nice.
I've been singing its praises to everybody. I just like you said, what I love about it is that the performances are in service of what feels like a genuine story. So Steve Carell.
Yep.
is the antagonist of the story, but he's not a bad guy per se. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, he's like a normal. Well, he's kind of an asshole, but I mean, he's kind of a normal.
But they
guy,
give him moments where you get to see him as a person.
Well, yeah, and
Right.
you almost think for a minute that he might actually turn it around.
Right.
There's a couple moments where you're like, are they gonna pull one where he's actually a good guy? But then,
Not
yeah,
so
without
much.
spoiling the movie for anybody,
Right.
things don't quite go that route, but they don't quite blow up either, and that's what I liked about it. It just
Yeah.
felt kind of real, and you felt like characters changed and grew throughout the film.
Yeah.
A lot of times you watch a movie, people are the same. If they're the same at the end as they were in the beginning, then for me it's kind of like, well, nothing's really happened. I just spent 2 hours to watch nothing happen. So it was nice to see that.
Yeah. A couple new releases I saw, and these are films that are either out right now or will be out shortly after you listen to this. First up is Nebraska,
I saw that.
which okay, wow.
What?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
No, I was totally like, really? Where? I figured you got a
Through
screener or
Nebraska.
something.
That was
I just
genuine
didn't-
surprise.
So Nebraska is the new film directed by Alexander Payne. It stars Bruce Dern and Will Forte and what's his name? Bob Odenkirk is in it.
Ah.
Stacy Keach. It's getting a lot of critical love. I did not like it as much as everybody else did. I found it nice. Like, it was nice,
Mm-hmm. Are you an Alexander Payne fan?
I'm not an Alexander Payne fan. I know Sean despises his work for whatever reason.
John is shaking his head for
Vigorously.
I can't stand Sideways. About Schmidt was fine. I just can't stand Sideways.
See, I recently saw Sideways and I really enjoyed it, and I avoided it like the plague for so long. I was like, I don't really care, and then I watched it recently and I loved it.
You must have been drunk.
No
Be appropriate.
wine in my presence. It was really good.
It's awful.
I like Election. I like About Schmidt. I haven't seen Sideways, so that I'm neutral on that.
It's awful. Don't listen to Paul.
I'm torn.
Descendants?
The Descendants is also great. I think
Descendants is
it's
another
awesome.
one I have yet to see, but
That's
You need to
good.
go.
yeah. I mean, generally speaking, the hit to miss ratio is pretty good, and this is not a bad film. It's what it's about is you have Bruce Dern as this elderly guy named Woody, who's he's just kind of given up on life, and he's kind of nagged by his wife a lot, and by the way, the entire film is in black and white, which is an interesting choice. It's an interesting choice that he made, and Will Forte is his son, and so Bruce Dern, Woody, gets this like sweepstake thing in the mail. We've all gotten them. Like, you've won $1 million, and he believes that it's real, and he needs to go to Nebraska to pick up his winnings.
Interesting.
And yeah, and so and his wife is
You
like,
win $1 million,
"Oh,
so they're gonna bring it to you.
Right.
You're gonna go
Well,
get
I
it.
mean, it's these sweepstake things that are all scam, right? And they're trying to explain to him that it's a scam. He's like, no, it's $1 million, and the his wife is like nagging him like, oh, he's crazy and this and that, and so Will Forte kind of thinks of this as a way to get to spend some time with his dad. He's like, yeah, I'll drive you to Nebraska, and it becomes this road trip movie as they stop over in his hometown, like where he grew up, and there's no real plot to it. It's kind of this episodic story with moments of humor that's really kind of girded with this melancholy, like kind of these people living their ordinary lives, and their lives are what they are, and it's, I don't know, it's not necessarily meant to make you feel great throughout, but there's some moments of sort of like payoff, moments of payoff. But when the movie ended, like, it didn't really stay with me, So it's an interesting one. Some good performances. I think Will Forte is really good in a completely dramatic performance. Like, you don't expect that. You expect him to be, MacGruber,
Right.
or Ted Turner or whatever.
Are you saying there's no scenes with the guy with celery in his ass?
None. I was shocked and dismayed.
I'm never watching that movie then.
And then another movie I saw, also black and white, and this is Inside Llewyn Davis. This is the new Coen Brothers movie.
I
Inside
didn't know
Llewyn
that was
Davis is black and white?
Yes, it is. No, wait, no, it's not. Sorry. The opening is in black and white. And that's the interesting. The opening scene, it stays with you because it's the beginning and the end circle back around together. It's funny that you say that because I was like, oh wait, no, it's in color.
I heard that Star Wars Episode 7 is going to be in black and white.
Now this film. Now
choice.
I'm not a big Coen Brothers fan, and this is the same thing. I'm not a big Coen Brothers fan. I don't necessarily watch everything that they do, and this is very similar thematically to Nebraska in that there is no real singular plot line. It's more episodic. It's just a series of stuff that's happening. What's interesting. And it's set in the 1960s. It's about a folk singer who's trying to get a recording contract or get noticed, and there's no market for folk singers. That's basically the gist of the movie. And you've got cameos by all kinds. Justin Timberlake is in it. What's her name from Carey Mulligan is in it. John Goodman. And Brian, you might appreciate this. Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy is in it as this random guy, and the character that he plays, this is true, his name is Johnny Five.
Yeah.
So
Does
we've
he
got
crave input?
Does he ever take a minute to say, "Don't forget to squeeze the Charmin"?
It's so odd. They're like, yeah, it's Johnny Five, like in the credits says Johnny Five. I was like, oh wow. So somewhere Brian's ears are burning when I saw that. The other cool thing about Inside Llewyn Davis is this is not the film itself, but I got to go see it at the Pixar facilities.
Nice.
Here in Emeryville. They're like, yeah, there's a screening, and I was like, I couldn't make any of the San Francisco ones. They're like, just come to Pixar. I'm like, really? I got to watch a movie at Pixar. That's kind of cool.
I'm here at Pixar to watch a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, I know. There's a disconnect. It's very odd.
We're calling the cops.
That's right. And then they led me away.
Hey, we've got another one that says he's got an invite.
Yeah.
This is insane. This is insane.
All right, so moving on, we've got a whole bunch of headlines to get through, so I figured let's just dive into these. Now this is one I didn't send this out in the show outline that I sent you, but I realized that I couldn't not talk about this, especially with Paul on. We have some supposed story details about Die Hard 6.
Oh my goodness.
Which is supposedly going to be called Die Hardest.
Which, by the way, those
Yes.
story details sound awfully familiar, don't
I was
they?
about to say. I read that and I was like, this guy listens to our show, I think.
It's like the exact plot we threw out.
So this is
He goes to Japan.
Ben Treblecook, who wrote a film called Knockout, and he was interviewed by a website called What Culture, and this is what they asked him what he can say about Die Hard 6, and this is what he said. What can I say? What can I say? What am I allowed to say? Okay, without spoiling too much, I can say that McClane is invited to Tokyo by the Nakatomi Corporation to be commended for his bravery and efforts in saving 36 lives, celebrating this on the 30th anniversary of the Nakatomi hostage crisis. It's by no means Black Rain. Perhaps has a slight Rising Sun type tone. None of that, by the way, makes me feel good. It's also, it's like Rising Sun. It's also not a double act buddy story. Buddy story. McClane began on his own and should end on his own. Of course, he's had assistants in various guises aiding him in his ventures, but it's not Lethal Weapon or a Jackie Chan film. He goes on to say that he's written a role for Sam Jackson to be Zeus Carver once again. I don't know how he would end up in Japan.
Why he would be in Japan.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I think we talked about on this show about having it be another Nakatomi story. Not to say that I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones who ever thought of that.
No,
Yeah.
we are.
Okay, fair enough.
It originated.
Well, fortunately, I wrote it down and put it in an envelope and mailed it to myself, so it's copywritten. So,
Suck it, Fox.
There's no
Suck
way
it.
anybody else could think of that. I got
Okay.
the envelope right here.
Now, Paul, you are the biggest Die Hard fan that I know.
I am
The
the
first
biggest
film.
diehard fan of the first three films.
Okay, so now you despised the fifth one. You
This garbage.
tolerated the fourth one, I believe.
The fourth one, like, it's you can watch it. It's watchable, but I mean, you're not like, man, I'm right back in the Die Hard mode. It's like,
It's
You
Die
feel
Hard-ish.
you feel that PG-13 every frame.
That's very true.
And it just feels disjointed in terms of, in terms of the characters. When you look at the side characters, every one of them had such personality, and they were very original characters in the first three films. And in part 4, they're just like, whatever, like, we quit. Like, we're not going to give you any personality. Oh, well, we did hire Kevin Smith. That's good enough, right? And it's like, no, it's not. It's really not. Nothing against,
And,
Kevin
and that
Smith
was the
in movie,
beginning,
but it's
by the
like-
way, of a beautiful friendship between him and Bruce
Yeah.
Willis.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, Kevin Smith, who is, a huge fanboy like the rest of us, unfortunately was the guy that had to bring back, like, the bad tidings. Like, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, Bruce Willis is an asshole.
I feel
so
I feel
everybody's
like
like,
he's
"Oh."
I feel like he once he talked, the dam broke.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
kind
know?
of true.
Yeah, he did. I mean, and again, that's his opinion. That was his experience, but that's what he brought back from it.
Yeah.
And that's what he, and is not afraid to share. So
Well, and based on what we've seen of Bruce in terms of other interviews he's done, I don't think I don't think Kevin Smith is the one guy who's got the bad Bruce stories to tell.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but what do you think about this, Paul? I'll start with you.
well, unfortunately, I kind of know more about this than I can even share.
Okay.
We can talk about it after.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the idea, I think that the idea itself it's on the money. And I actually talked to Treble Cook because I actually, when I wrote the story the first time,
Mhm.
which was when it was announced back in March, he actually contacted us and had some things to say, some about what we had reported in terms of the story, because he's very passionate about the project. And I know that his heart is in the right place. The details, I think, are of the story. I think they're right on, in terms of like what everybody wants of a Die Hard film. But here's the problem: it's never going to happen. I'll tell you why. This is not a mystery, because ultimately, at this stage in Bruce Willis's career, he is not going to let a great filmmaker, for one, take on Die Hard. He wants a filmmaker that can get the job done and that he and Fox can control.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. I guarantee you, if they even make it. I hope they don't. I wish they would just let it die. I don't want to have to go through. It's not like I'm not gonna be heartbroken. I'm not gonna cry to the heavens. It's like at this point, Die Hard is dead to me. All right, the first Die Hard, the second Die Hard, the third Die Hard are, to me, they're great. The first Die Hard is my all-time favorite film, obviously, but the second and third, they're great films. They're great follow-ups. They're great sequels. They don't trump the original. But the bottom line is that magic is done. That bottle that had all that lightning in it was shattered years and years ago. You're not going to find that lightning and stuff in another bottle. It's done. It's cooked. And the thing is, no matter how good I think a Die Hard 6 idea would be, from whether it's from Treble Cook or anybody, you want me to put money on it, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be another good day to Die Hard. That's what Die Hard 6 is going to ultimately be. And the ideas that, that Ben is pushing are, I think, very solid. They're ideas that we would all want, just as you guys, yourselves have, touched on. But it's not going to happen. Fox will not, I guarantee you, it's not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be just like a good day to Die Hard. I will eat crow, man. I'll come on here and I'll be like, I was wrong. Blah, blah, blah. I ran my mouth. I'll take the bullet. Fine. But I'm just telling you right now, looking at it historically, looking at the path, the trajectory of the franchise right now, there's no way they're going to oh yeah, man, we're going to get a great director to take on Die Hard 6. And, Bruce he's going to work with him. He's going to do whatever the director says. It's going to be great. And then we're going back to the roots. I mean, that's like the worst thing anybody can say. That's kind of like what they toss around all the time. Going back to the roots.
You know what's funny? This reminds me of a story that you guys ran on Joe Blow today, actually, with John Landis, talking about.
I thought that's what Zachy was going to bring up, and he said it was in the agenda. But
yeah. Well, just real quick. I mean, basically, he said that movie studios aren't in the movie business anymore. They're. I mean, we're not saying anything new here, but just they have agendas and they have things that they need to do and they have bills they have to pay, and so they're interested in making what will make the most amount of money, and it doesn't, story comes, I was gonna say second, but maybe fifth. So
I don't think Landis is off base. I mean, I think
no. I mean, what he said
he's
is all, I believe, accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some very genuine things. Now, does that mean there's not great movies? Absolutely not.
No.
There's still great movies.
No.
but the landscape has changed
Yes.
completely. I
Yeah.
mean, John Landis is not a crazy person going up there just spitting out like stuff that's absolutely untrue. You know, it's all stuff that we know. And he's basically reinforcing it. You know, he's saying,
Yes.
yeah, you guys are right. You know, you are in the Matrix.
Is
You know, it's a program.
Is John McTiernan still in jail?
Yes. He's
Uh,
got, I think he's got about another 6 months on his
Oh well, he could still do
bullshit
it.
sentence.
Yeah, let me fling that at you, Paul. What if somehow they wrangled a McTiernan Bruce Willis?
What if you
reunion?
would start pre-production while he was in the clink?
I mean, I mean, that would be. I mean, certainly you would have, you know, you'd up your game there. I mean, that'd be an exciting thing. You know, it'd be an exciting prospect. But, you know, McTiernan has been embroiled in this thing, which is just total horseshit. I mean, the guy went to jail for a phone call. We could go down a whole rabbit hole here for that.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go down that road. But ultimately, you know, this guy just had to like spend a year in prison, in my opinion, based on looking at, you know, what happened, falsely imprisoned. And I think what's going to happen is, you know, he's going to get out. This guy is going to be kind of a changed man. He's not, you don't just get out of prison after a year for something like that and just come back, you know, unjaded and oh yeah, let me jump back into the fray.
Yeah.
I would love to see another John McTiernan film. Would love it. And I honestly, I hope that he doesn't, you know, feel broken by, you know, the system that kind of feels like it betrayed him a little bit. And I know that, you know, and again, you know, there's crimes and whatnot that he's, you know, accused of, but what he's in prison for is not for that. That's a fact, you know. So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to come back and be like, yeah, man, let's get back into Hollywood. Let me get back into this game. You know, I think he's going to come out and he's going to be like, to hell with this. I'm moving to France. I'm out. And honestly, I couldn't blame him at this point. Like I said, I'd love to see another McTiernan film. Love to see him in Die Hard 6. Ain't going to happen. You know, it's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised they got John Moore again.
Okay.
Groans,
Okay.
rumble,
Well,
rumble.
as we're talking about Bruce Willis, that relates to the next story I wanted to discuss with you guys, which is that MGM for a while now. Now we talk about how MGM, they have like 5 properties, and that's it. So all they do is just reboot and recycle. And so
They got Bond. That's all they need.
Yeah. Well, really, other than Bond, all they have is RoboCop. And and Death Wish, which they've been trying to remake. That was, of course, the series, the Charles Bronson series. And so for the longest time, Joe Carnahan was as attached. And I'm a big fan of Joe Carnahan as a director.
Yeah.
And he was attached to direct the remake of Death Wish, but he dropped out because the studio wanted Bruce Willis to star in the film, and he did not.
Yeah.
And so he dropped out, and they got this newbie. His name is Gerardo Naranjo. Now, the interesting thing about this is that Joe Carnahan sent an email to the CEO of MGM where he just tears into him. So here's the relevant bits from his email. He says, "You had a potential Oscar-winning film with maybe the best script in Hollywood, but because you're a coward and a dumb C-word," and I don't know which C-word that is, to be honest, "you now have an untested second-time director and an arrogant, lazy, aging action star that will run that poor kid into the ground. Good luck, asshole. You're a spineless, gutless turd who doesn't belong in the business. Enjoy your run as a, quote, studio head, Glickman. It's going to be a short one. F you, Joe Carnahan."
You know, I think that is like a perfect reinforcement of like what I just said. You know, Joe Carnahan working with Bruce Willis, Carnahan's going to want to do his thing.
Yeah.
And it feels and it seems, you know, based on everything that we've heard from filmmakers and from everybody else, you know, that's worked with Bruce of late, is that it's just not going to be allowed.
Right.
I don't know if he's I don't know. I don't know Bruce Willis. I don't know him personally. I don't know all the inside stuff as far as that goes. But what I do know is what people are saying. And it just seems like that he's just very difficult to work with when it comes to you wanting to just do your thing as a filmmaker. You know. Now, again, though, he did Looper, and that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, that's
and that was like
interesting,
that was his best film that he's done in
a while,
maybe a decade.
Yeah.
And you look at, okay, that's Rian Johnson, who is, you know, a very talented, gifted filmmaker with a lot to say, and he has a very good style of his own. And it was the best film Bruce Willis has done in years. You know, so again, you maybe Joe Carnahan could have done something with him, but maybe Joe Carnahan was like, no, this isn't the kind of person that I want to work with. It's going to be very difficult to get the performance that I want to bring this story to life. And I think it just reinforces more that it reinforces the argument against Die Hard 6.
Sure.
Isn't the Die Hard franchise like one step away from being Death Wish anyway?
Well,
Not
no,
really, because Death Wish is all about revenge.
Yeah, Death Wish
No,
is more
but-
like The Punisher or something, right?
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like the ridiculousness of each sequel.
Well, sure, because by the time they did the fifth Death Wish, Charles Bronson was like 65 or something.
He's like, I wish I was dead.
Okay, but here's the best part of this story, which is obviously if something like this leaks, it's not meant to go public. So right away, the representatives for the director have already come forward and claimed that the email was a joke between old friends Carnahan and Glickman.
Oh yeah.
Which I one day, Brian, I'd like you to share the profanity-laced email that I've sent you ever.
Right.
I got
I
that
know.
saved around here somewhere.
I love the immediate spin. They're like, oh, they're buddies.
If that's what people are getting paid for, media spin, then I might as well work in media spin because that is just lazy and stupid.
Bro, dude,
They're-
it is a
they're old
lucrative
friends.
market at this point.
They're old friends. It's okay.
It's funny. Yeah.
Now we're talking about a lot of old franchises that are getting dug back up again. This is one franchise I'm very excited to see being dug back up, even though they've been talking about it forever. And this is Mad Max 4, which is called Fury Road. I don't know if it's Mad Max Fury Road or if it's just going to be Fury Road. But this is starring Tom Hardy as the Mel Gibson character, and it's going to be released in summer 2015. Because there aren't enough big franchise movies.
Because why not?
Because why not? It's coming out in May of 2015. They shot it like 2 years ago, I believe.
Wow.
And
They're going back for reshoots now.
they're doing more reshoots now, and they're doing the
Yep.
3D post conversion, and they're dropping about $100 million on it, which is actually pretty reasonable for a movie like this, I would say.
I might
It seems
disagree
like
with
George
you.
Miller is always going into that.
That
Yeah.
now,
This feels like to me. This is for time for a new segment called Confessions.
okay.
Confessions. I've never seen a Mad Max film.
Oh,
Really?
snap.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
Is there a
we're
way
gonna
we can
go ahead and
kick
cut
Brian
Brian
Hall
off.
off of this now.
yeah, I know I need to. I feel bad. Someone just recently told me that they can't believe I haven't because they feel like I would really like them.
You would.
But,
Yeah, Brian, you would. I'm gonna. Yeah, I would agree.
And I believe it. But I will be honest. I feel like this film is one of those movies that's going to get released in the middle of August, and no one's really going to see it. And
Well, it's coming out in
everyone's
May, I believe.
Oh, is it May?
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, like, everyone on the internet's gonna be like surprised, and everyone else is not.
Oh, so it's gonna come out like between Superman and all the Marvel movies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
know. I don't feel
good
good.
luck.
I'm not saying about the quality of the film, but
Mhm.
I don't see this being a movie that makes
Well,
$100
the
million.
reason
Yep.
I say that
agree.
100 million I think is a bargain is because I think this movie will coast very successfully internationally.
Maybe.
That would be my
So
guess.
so internationally over 100 million.
I mean, it'll probably do
That's-
okay here. I'm guessing if the reviews are decent, it'll probably do okay. I don't think it's gonna flop here. I think
gonna
Tom
flop.
Hardy. I think it's a great role for Tom Hardy. I think he's a perfect fit for this.
I don't
And
see
I
the
think-
demand for Mad Max personally. Go on.
Well, I would agree with that, but I think it's one of those. I don't think the brand has been ruined. You know what I mean? I think there's 3 movies out there that
I think it's been completely forgotten about.
it has been. I mean, it's been 30
Yeah.
years. By the time this comes out, it will be 30 years since the last one, which was Beyond Thunderdome.
I think that the only way that Fury Road is going to be a hit is if it catches on as a new property.
Okay.
Because
Well,
you're
yeah, I
going to
agree
have a
with
lot of
that. I agree with that.
holdovers. They're going to be like, "Where's Mel Gibson?" But
Right.
let's
And
be honest.
he's
you know,
in this.
there's a
Apparently,
whole
he
new.
has a cameo.
That's what they say. There's no confirmation of that though.
Tina Turner in it too?
One can only hope. Hope there's a new theme song.
Mel Gibson is
just-
going to play the Tina Turner role.
I personally, I just don't think that. I agree with Sean on this one. I really don't think that it's going to pick up. I hope I'm surprised again, just like what Brian said earlier. It's like none of us win, when a movie turns out to be bad. I hope it's great. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's a success. But just kind of looking at it and kind of the feedback, it really feels like it's a niche audience that's very excited for it, like those that grew up with it and
Like
love it, guys like
me.
Zachy. But I think that it's the issue that it's going to have is to sell a new audience, and if it's just a rehash of the same old, then what do we need it for?
Yeah.
You can just go rent Mad Max,
Right.
You guys get
So
the
hopefully
impression
it's different enough.
you get the impression that there's not going to be a 2016.
Yeah.
I'm more worried there's not going to be a 2015.
Yeah.
Paul, to your point, I feel like, and admittedly, again, I'm the audience for this movie because I love the extant trilogy, but I feel like the name Mad Max is known to people who've never even seen the films.
I don't think so.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I should ask your students. That'd be a good one to ask your students, Eki.
Yeah.
Dude,
I think if you talk to a college crowd right now, be like, "Do you guys know who Mad Max is?" Be like, "Is that like Mel Gibson?"
Well,
I guarantee none of them have seen it.
Just to put this in perspective, my students, the majority of them know Mel Gibson as crazy anti-Semite guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean that the last time he was in a hit movie was We Were Soldiers, maybe? I don't know. Signs?
Signs.
Signs was
2002.
11 years ago. Signs was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
think about that one, right? And speaking of 2015, another big release, which we just mentioned, is Superman versus Batman, which is just the unofficial title.
Whoa!
I know. I'm as
They're making a
shocked as you.
Superman versus Batman?
What's this world coming to?
Dude, Ben Affleck is going to be Batman.
What?
Get out.
I have to tell a little
Guy,
anecdote real
Goodwill
fast.
Hunting.
Because
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there's any place to do that, it is here. I was at not a party, but a get together or what have you, and there was a girl there who was working on Superman versus Batman.
Nice.
And so I was like, okay, you got to play your cards really cool and casual, but somehow get some information out of this person. So I
So you
won't say what
grabbed her drink,
department
put
she
a
worked
roofie
in.
in it.
Well, she worked in a department on the film, and so I asked her about what that department was like and all these other films she worked at. And so I was like, yeah, so I guess it's kind of interesting. You work on something like a Western. You're kind of dealing with those sorts of things, working on a sci-fi movie like these sorts of things. Batman. But
She's like,
she's
"Get
good.
away from me."
She's good. Got nothing.
Well, I'm
Dude,
sure there
I
were
mean, that
snipers.
Kind of stuff, yeah, seriously. That kind of stuff ends careers, man. Like, that's
Yeah,
like,
oh, yeah.
pack up your bags and leave Hollywood.
Yeah.
You're done.
It's like the guy who played the dancer in Indiana Jones,
Yeah, that's
right? I think they found his body next to Jimmy Hoffa somewhere.
Yeah, well, what Zacky's referring to is there was a bit player. I mean, like just a guy with no lines, just in the background of a scene of Crystal Skull. And then he was from a small town in Oklahoma, I believe.
Yeah.
And he spoke to his local newspaper, and everybody was so amped about that film that every site picked up on that interview, and I think they cut him out of the movie.
Yep. All right. Here are the potential titles of the Superman versus Batman movie, which will not be called Superman versus Batman. So here we go. And I want to get you guys' take on these. So I'll go ahead and
Unless
read
it
through
is.
the list. Here we go. Man of Steel, Battle the Night. Night, like K-N-I-G-H-T.
Lame.
Man of Steel, Darkness Falls.
Lame.
Man of Steel, Shadow of the Night.
Nope.
No.
Man of Steel, Beyond Darkness.
Lame.
Man of Steel, Black of Night. Night, K-N-I-G-H-T.
Nope.
Man of Steel, Night Falls. K-N-I-G-H-T. Man of Steel, The Blackest Hour.
No. What?
Yeah. Man of Steel, The Darkest Hour.
The Blunch Black of Bloater
That's,
Blaine.
that's the best one. So far.
That's the next one. Man of Steel, The Blunch Black of Bloater Blame. Man of Steel, The Darkness Within. Man of Steel, The Darkness of Dark. I think.
Well, they do some of those on purpose, right, to throw people off.
Man
I'm
of
sure.
Steel.
Yeah, they're
Black
kind of
as shit.
chumming up the water.
Is
I
there,
feel-
is there a Man of Steel Super Electric Boogaloo in there?
Well, that's my title. That's the one I want. I was like, give him the electric blue suit that he had in the 90s, if you guys remember,
Yeah.
and just
Oh,
call
yeah.
it Man of Steel Electric Boogaloo. I think that would work. I feel like between the four of us, we could come up with a better title than anything on this list of poo.
I don't think the title really matters.
No.
No.
I'm not
Why
going to
not?
get rid.
Why
I got to
don't you
be
just
honest
call
with
it
you.
Superman Batman.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't. You're always going to have people who are going to be against it. I don't think no matter what they name it, you're still going to have people that hate it.
Right.
There's
of course.
there's no win with it. I'm surprised that like people get so wrapped up about it. I personally don't. I mean, I'm more concerned overall, and I'm not really that concerned. I actually probably have more faith than I should but I'm more concerned with just the film being good.
Yeah.
I don't really care
Yeah.
about the title.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tricky business finding a title like that to appease the rabid fanboys for Batman and Superman as it is already.
I would say just call it Superman Batman like that comic, and have the main marketing hook be that logo with the Superman symbol.
Didn't
And
I
Batman
still
say
like
that
Batman
2
versus
seconds ago?
Superman.
Yeah.
Paul, Batman versus or Superman versus Batman.
I like Batman versus Superman, but I
Bat-
mean,
yeah.
Well, yeah, either. I mean, just call it that, but your hook is that symbol. That's,
Yeah,
you could still call it Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman if you wanted. I mean, that would be fine too.
yeah.
So,
Or
I
it could
mean, I
just
guess
be
you
like
could say, well, that's
Prince,
redundant.
and it'll just be the symbol.
Just why not? Seriously, why not? I mean, you have so many movies now where they're like they get. I don't know. It kind of annoys me when they don't have a title at the beginning of the film. There's like we don't have a title. We have the Warner Brothers logo. We just launch right in.
Right.
To me, like I love like an opening title. Like I think it should be there. I don't need the whole credits at the beginning, but at least a title.
Yeah.
You know, like Pacific Rim had a really cool title, even though it took 15 minutes to get there. But it was still they had a title. You know, I think that's.
I miss
kinda-
title sequences.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I miss. I miss
Did you
when
know-
TV shows had theme songs because
Opening theme. Yeah.
Oh, for
because
sure.
nowadays, like it used to be, you had a whole song that laid out the entire premise of your show, and then nowadays you have Lost, which is the theme song is.
Right. Yeah. Well, some of those shows like required an entire title sequence to explain
Yeah.
the plot. It's like his name was John and he lost his job and now he lives with his lawyer. You know, like it explained everything.
Well, they either told you everything about the show, or they told you what you need to succeed in life. Like you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. That's some
the
deep
hook,
stuff.
Man. People
Yeah,
are,
but
"I
the
need
thing
to
is,
watch
though,
a
is
show
running
about
times
this."
now. Like shows used to be about like 24 minutes, maybe even 25 minutes, but now they're, working on a television show now. I was actually in a lock today, and the whole goal is the show that they've made is too long, and you have to whittle it down, to 21 and a half minutes or something. I mean, it's, so it's like you sacrifice the title so you can fit your story in.
That's bogus, man.
Yeah,
I don't
It's
like
all
that.
about advertising.
Yeah.
that show's gonna fail, Brian.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I hope.
that's horrible. All right, so in terms of sequel news, just as anticipated in my mind as the Superman Batman team up is another sequel, which is It's a Wonderful Life 2.
Never gonna happen.
No,
Movie's
that
called-
actually, I think since we even wrote this outline, I think that's been Paramount was like, nope.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay,
They,
like-
so
they
they're
own the
like-
rights to it.
Yeah, they're like, go ahead and try.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will put the kibosh on that.
Now the tentative title for the movie that now will never be made was It's a Wonderful Life, the rest of the story. Which to me, I say, what rest of the story?
Yeah. Well, the
Well,
whole
apparently
hook
it's
was that
supposed
they
to-
had the
yeah.
original actress who played his daughter,
Uh-huh.
Zuzu, in it. So
And
she was
she's
going
gonna
to be
be
that
an
was going to be the
angel.
link.
As,
Or she, wasn't she gonna be an angel or something? Like
Yeah, she was gonna be
yeah,
an angel.
Yeah. She was going to be the guide for
George
son or
Bailey's
something, right?
grandson, George Bailey.
Yeah, and I didn't know if they didn't proofread the press release or not, but I believe the press release said the guy would see how much better his life would be, or the world would be, had he not been born. Like it would be
I
better.
read that. Yeah,
And he's
And I was like, I
"Oh,
read
okay."
that 3 times. I was like, wait.
that's right. How much better off the world would have been had he never been born. So the message is, kill yourself, you asshole.
Well, yeah, at the end he's like, "What the hell is Bedford Falls?"
I got to be honest,
Like-
I'm a little curious how that one ends.
It's a much darker place.
Yeah.
Turns
Yeah,
out she's actually a demon. Like it just and I believe George Bailey's grandson would have been played by Will Smith, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. So,
Probably his son.
well, that's. By the way, did you ever watch After Earth? Any of you guys?
No.
No.
Nope.
I'm so desperate to talk to anyone about that movie.
I'll look forward to the How Did This Get Made. Actually, I take that back. They did one.
They
Never
did
mind.
one. They did one
Yeah.
already, and it was brilliant. So
Yeah, it was
this
funny.
this whole episode is just like one. We're just pimping.
Plug for that podcast.
How did this get made? Yeah. Well, so we have a Movies That Matter segment coming up, but before we do that, we also have an overlooked and underrated pick. And Paul, you write a column for Joe Blow, which is the best movie you haven't seen. So that's why I turn to you to take point on this episode and pick a underlooked and overlooked and underrated film that you can recommend to us and to the audience.
Well, all right. It's actually the best movie you never saw. But,
sorry.
Semantics. It's all right. Thanks.
I'm up for semantics.
It's a column, like I said when I was talking earlier, about how trying to get away from that cynical thing and get back to like the passion of movies. And we all have these movies that we've seen, and then you tell somebody like, "Have you ever seen it?" Like, "No, I never seen it." And you're always like, "What? You've never seen that? Oh,
Yeah.
You got to see it." So that's my take. That's the whole purpose of the column. And this week I did Fearless, which is directed by Peter Weir and stars Jeff Bridges, Isabella Rossellini, and Rosie Perez. And I remember seeing it back in I think I saw it on video. I didn't see it in theaters, and I loved it. It's one of those initial films I saw when I was kind of like early into my film education, I like to call it, and it really moved me. And it was a movie that really affected me in a way that it actually changed my life. And it basically made me get at peace with flying. I always, as a kid growing up, and I think a lot of kids, and you grow up with it thinking you're scared of planes, scared to death of flying, and because anytime you see a plane crash, it is always the most horrific thing you could ever witness. You're just like, oh my God, this is just awful. This is just, I'm scared. I'm never getting a plane.
Right.
Even though it's the safest way to travel, but even that lottery winning chance that you would actually crash still is enough to freak you out. And this movie, the way that it's presented and Jeff Bridges' reaction in the film to being in a plane crash, really kind of was an awakening for me. And I felt that it was a movie that had a message that really could inspire, which is a rare thing. And it's most of Peter Weir's films are very transcendent like that. He really goes above and beyond. He tackles the human element and then goes beyond that. He tackles big questions. And I think Fearless really dives into that, especially your mortality, your spirituality, and the difference between living what you could hold on to and what you can't, and how you can control your life, and just so many great themes, and a lot of them are tackled in these beautiful metaphoric ways, and it's just a great film. It's quiet. It's not a loud, boisterous film, but it's just got so many little moments, very subtle moments. Like in the film, Rosie Perez lost her baby in the plane crash. The baby was killed while she was holding it. And she goes through this whole thing where she feels guilty about it. And there's one point in the film where she confesses to Jeff Bridges. She's like, I let go. When the plane started to land, I thought we were okay, and I wasn't holding him anymore, and I let go, and then the plane crashed. So she's like, I dropped my baby, and she's like a big confession moment. She like loses it, and Jeff Bridges is kind of freaking out, and he's like, what am I going to do? She's like, she's crazy, she's losing it. And they had just gone through and bought Christmas presents for all their deceased family members, which is kind of crazy, but it fits the story. And he bought this toolbox for his deceased dad, and he gives her the toolbox, and he says, we're going to save your baby. He's like, this is your baby. This is Bubbles, her baby. She called it Bubble. It's like a cute nickname. And she's like, hold it. And she's like in hysterics, and he puts her in the back seat, and she's holding it, so it's like she's on the airplane again, and she's holding the baby, and he gets in his car, and he just takes off driving really, really fast, and just crashes into this wall. And the toolbox goes flying out of her hands and smashes through the front window and hits the wall. And for her, like this car wreck now, like put her at peace, because she realized at that moment, she's like, there's no way in hell, no matter what I did, would I have been able to save my baby, whether I was holding him as tight as I possibly could, or whether he was just sitting on my lap thinking we were going to land. This kid was basically going to die. It was going to happen. So it brings peace to her. And it's like this metaphor.
Okay, I'm getting choked up right now. So.
Yeah.
I'm not even watching the movie.
Right.
And to make it even better, this whole sequence has U2's "Where the Streets Have No Name" playing underneath without the lyrics. It's just like that
Nice.
guitar riff, and it plays beautifully. It's just such a perfect And Peter Weir's, he's kind of notorious for just using great music in all of his films, and it just plays just perfectly. throughout that whole scene. And it's in the column. The column went up today, and I ripped that scene and I put that scene in there so you can actually watch it through the column. And that's my recommendation. It's a great film.
And that's a perfect example of what this segment is about, because that's I mean, it just came and went when it was released. I think it made like $7 million. It did
6 million.
I mean,
6.9. So yeah, 7.
I mean, nobody watched it, and I always say that. I mean, the odds are pretty good with the Jeff Bridges film. You're gonna get at the very least a good performance from him, because he's just extremely dependable.
Right.
So
Very true.
You've got me interested in checking that out. So.
You haven't seen Fearless? Oh my god!
I haven't.
See,
yeah.
and that's a genuine reaction when people say they haven't seen it. Like,
Yeah.
Especially like my film buddies, like, you haven't seen Fearless?
Yeah, and I know of it. Like I remember when it first came out, and yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when I was like maybe 18 or something. So I'd be interested to rewatch it as an adult.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, when I rewatch every time I do the column, I rewatch the movie. Just because I want to have it fresh in my mind. And there's been a couple that I've watched, and I'm like, well, nope, not good anymore.
Really?
Not gonna. Killing Zoe I watched recently. I used to love as a kid, as a teen, and I thought it was so great. And I watched it on Netflix, and I was like, this is pretty much crap. Not into it anymore. But yeah, I rewatched the movie, and I was moved. I mean, you say you're getting choked up saying that. There's a number of parts where it's like I really got choked up, and it hits you like emotionally again. It's so rare that movies do that. It really, really is, and that's why I always recommend Fearless.
Nice,
because it's a very touching film like that. It's the whole transcendent thing, and it's by no means your standard fare, which is just great.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see when you see.
You'll see. You'll all
Everybody should see it. You'll see how great it is. Damn you, all of you.
Now. Switching gears here, we have a Movies That Matter selection, and we are recording this on the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And given that, I thought that this week's selection was somewhat apropos, and I'm talking about JFK, the film directed by Oliver Stone, which was released in 1991. Stars Kevin Costner, along with just about every actor ever.
Yeah.
This film is the Rosetta Stone for 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, basically.
John Candy is in this movie.
Yeah, they got John Candy, Jack Lemmon, and
if
Laurie
JFK
Metcalf.
was never made, do you think there would still be the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
If that's a good
I
question.
think that whole thing hinges on JFK.
That's very true. I mean, this is if you have not seen JFK, or if you're playing with somebody who has not seen JFK, you have a substantive advantage, I would assume. So a little bit about the film. Now, this is not a film about the life of John F. Kennedy. This is a film about the investigation into the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And in terms of being a document that depicts history, it has about as much to do with reality as the Star Wars movies. I think the Star Wars movies are more grounded in reality than this film.
Well, Luke Skywalker is based off a character in the Bible.
We need to make this clear that as history, it's total dog shit. But as a film, it is incredible.
Couldn't agree more.
And it's gripping and it's dramatic and it's fantastic. So I have this very weird bipolar relationship with this film. It is truly one of my it's in my upper tier of all-time favorites, but I always have to couch it by saying I don't believe anything that it presents. Because it's just not. I mean Oliver Stone is not the most
crazy
detached observer of history.
Yeah,
Crazy.
It's kind of his jam, right? Like, his movies are all, for the most part, pretty great to some extent, but historically and being accurate and all that, it's just
they're just chock full.
He takes a lot of liberties.
Well, imagine your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving, who's feeding you things that you know aren't true, but he happens to be a master storyteller. So you're like, wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think you know what I think it is with Oliver Stone is he's got that balance of he's very, very smart and he's read a lot of stuff, but the way that he's assimilated that information and the way he pours it back out, is just like a jumbled mess of craziness.
Yeah,
And you're
and
just like-
paranoid.
And
it's
it's hard
very
to
paranoid.
decide. Yeah, paranoid and conspiracy. You're just like pretty much talking to him is kind of like, Jesus, why do I even live anymore? Like he just paints everything black, and you're like, oh my God, all right,
Yeah.
we're all horrible. Humanity is awful. We're terrible people.
And
Everything we do is to subvert
every
everything.
structure that we're like under is against us.
Yeah, I mean, unless we're smoking peyote in the desert, we should just cease to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the interesting thing. I mean, I almost feel like this film is a dividing line in terms of Stone's career, because I feel like I don't think he's ever matched what he accomplished with JFK in all the films since.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's done a crap ton. I mean, he's done a lot of movies. He did Natural Born Killers, which some people like. I'm not a big fan of.
I love it.
He did Alexander, and he's done about 18 different edits of Alexander. It's like we're just not that into Alexander, despite his.
He's like, no, I got it this time. I got it. You didn't like this one.
He's done the longer cut, the shorter cut. I mean, it's like a desperate boyfriend at this time. But and he did World Trade Center, which I admittedly I did not see that.
That's actually really good. It doesn't feel like an Oliver Stone movie.
Oh, okay.
I
So
didn't see
that
that
was
either.
kind of his like purgatory movie, like he has to do.
Yeah, it's like when you watch it, you're not like, this is Oliver Stone. It was very like it's a very personal film. I mean, half the movie is, Nicolas Cage and Michael Pena trapped under this wreckage. So,
And he now I will say I liked Nixon, which is another presidential film that he did.
I didn't
totally
see that.
accurate to history in every way.
That's another. Well, starting with Anthony Hopkins looking nothing like Richard Nixon, and then there was W,
Yeah.
Pile of crap.
Oh, right.
which I have not seen it, but all I know is that Josh Brolin seems to do a pretty good job in the film. He's just
Josh Brolin is great, but the movie itself, I mean,
well, and
it's like a comedy. It's almost like he made a comedy. He's like, you know what, George, but he's just such a kooky character. I'm just gonna make a comedy. I'm not even gonna try.
and
Here, I'm just gonna make it as silly as possible.
And see, that's the interesting thing, because I haven't seen the entirety of W, but I saw the opening sequence where it's the planning for the axis of evil speech that President Bush gave. But I feel like JFK, despite how we keep coming back to this idea that it's historically just bananas, but it has sort of a beating heart at its center that makes you relate to it and understand and feel for the characters.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Kevin Costner, I mean, I don't know what people think about Kevin Costner, to be honest, because I was
He
just
gets
about to
ragged
say,
on
like,
a lot, yeah.
He does.
for me, I love Kevin Costner. I mean, I think
Agreed.
of Field of Dreams
Yeah.
and all
I think
those
he's a
films.
great
So
actor.
he's an easy guy for me to latch onto.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a shame that he's not getting more roles and more recognition and respect for what he's done.
yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I think
To this
Costner
day.
has kind of turned the corner into older character roles
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And I hope he continues with that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. But no, I'll say, just with my personal experience with this movie, this was a movie that I had recommended to me a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I even worked for the company that made the movie. So I got it for free.
Oh, that's
And
right.
I had it sitting on the shelf, but I was so daunted by its running time.
So you had not seen it until like your 20s?
Maybe like 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had an experience where I was house sitting, and so I brought a bunch of movies down, and I was like, all right, this is the night I watch JFK. I'm going to do this. And, it's like
Settle
7
in.
o'clock. I was like, all right, I'll be done by 10 or whatever, 11 or something. But, yeah, I mean, and then it's just one of those movies where this is one of those movies, Paul, like you're talking about, where, or I guess it's a little different, but like, no, I was gonna say, like, when people are surprised you haven't seen it, but this is one of those movies where when you finish it, those movies you start and you've been putting it off, and then when you finish it, you're like, wow, how did I put this
Yeah.
off for so long? Like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so good.
Mhm.
And
I
then
love
I
those
started.
moments.
I was pushing it on my brother so hard after, and people. And it's and what it is yeah, again, historical whatever aside, just as its own as a film. I mean,
Yeah.
it is, for whatever it is. I think I even watched the director's cut, which is super
Oh
long.
my God.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gripping. It's gripping entertainment, and what it is it's just you have Kevin Costner as this guy who's trying to put together this case about how there was like another shooter, this conspiracy going on with this whole assassination, and the whole movie. It's interesting because it isn't necessarily a narrative even.
Right.
I mean, it's just a really cinematic telling of facts and theories. And well, I mean, just like this happened, but what if it was because of this? And this woman over here, who was a actual witness, said this, which could only mean this. And then you're just, I mean, it's relentless.
Yeah.
And then it all culminates in this climax that's like a 20-minute court scene where Kevin Costner just lays out this whole spiel about what he thinks or what he believes happened. And John Williams' score is just this slowly like creeping in sort of ominous thing. And it's just, I remember I recently caught it again on cable, just that last 30, 40 minutes of it or whatever. And it's just, you cannot look away from it. Like it's brilliant filmmaking.
Yeah, I wanted to play a little clip of the audio from the speech at the end of the film that Kevin Costner gives. Let me see if I can pull that up here.
These are the ones who drive the cabs, who nurse in the hospitals, who see their kids go to Vietnam. Why? Because they care. Because they want to know the truth. Because they want the country back. Because it still belongs to us. As long as the people have the guts to fight for what they believe in. The truth is the most important value we have. Because if the truth does not endure, if the government murders truth, if we cannot respect the hearts of these people, then this is not the country in which I was born in, and it's certainly not the country that I want to die in. Tennyson wrote, "Authority forgets a dying king." This was never more true than for John F. Kennedy, whose murder was probably one of the most terrible moments in the history of our country.
And what this is a mixture of what Jim Garrison actually said and Oliver Stone just. I mean, it's this weird. It culminates in Jim Garrison, who's the district attorney in New Orleans. He brings a case charging conspiracy on a part of the government and whatnot in the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and it's really the image, the picture that it creates of Kennedy is not, in my opinion, necessarily accurate to the man that existed, but it's sort of the fantasy version of Kennedy that Stone wants to believe in or wants us to believe in. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really that's the only way to look at this film is as just a complete fabrication, and yet an engrossing fabrication.
Right.
You know what I always think of when I think of JFK? I think back and to the left.
Back and to the left.
And just seeing JFK's head blown apart, it's like horrific. I think it's the first time I ever saw the Zapruder film, and I was just like, whoa, oh my God, that's horrific.
Now, just we were talking about the cast earlier. Just to run down here, and I'm just this is like a quick Wikipedia thing here. We got Kevin Costner obviously in the lead, Kevin Bacon, of course. We got Tommy Lee Jones, Joe Pesci, Gary Oldman as Lee Harvey Oswald, Laurie Metcalf, Michael Rooker, J.O. Saunders, Sissy Spacek, Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, Ed Asner, Brian Doyle Murray, John Candy, like you mentioned, Brian, Wayne Knight, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Donald Sutherland as X.
Yeah.
And I love this. This is fantastic because if you now bear in mind, I watched this. I had the exact opposite experience with this film as Brian because I watched this when I was 10 years old or 11 years old.
This really explains a lot.
It really does.
I know now I understand all the Facebook posts. I get it.
In 1991, there were two movies that I was obsessed with: T2 and JFK.
So weird.
That's a true fact. So obviously at the time I didn't know anything about history. I was still living in Saudi Arabia at the time. So I just assumed, I was like, why would movies lie to us? Like it did. I was like, it's hello. And you have this scene where Garrison, right before the trial, he meets with this deep cover black ops guy who has all the key, like it's X as an exposition because he's
Yeah, exactly.
and he basically is like, here's what happened, Mr. Garrison, and he just lays out 20 minutes of just bullshit basically.
Yep.
Just total fiction. I mean, it's extraordinary. I mean, he's a guy who did not exist.
Yeah, it's like they needed some like venue
Yeah.
to push all these like
Yeah.
all these conspiracy theories. Let's just filter them through this one guy. Who better has to get Donald Sutherland? Who's
Yeah.
not gonna believe Donald Sutherland?
He's Jack
It
Bauer.
was
Nowadays,
Donald
yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Sutherland. Yeah, Morgan Freeman. You'd be like, there were two shooters. Morgan Freeman. That's out.
I mean,
Follow the money.
That was really good. Is he guesting? Is he at your house?
No.
and
I'm God.
you have this whole conspiracy thing, and actually, I'm gonna play some of the audio from that scene.
Anyway, after I came back, I asked myself, why was I, the chief of special ops, selected to travel to the South Pole at that time to do a job that any number of others could have done? And I wondered if it could have been because one of my routine duties, if I had been in Washington, would have been to arrange for additional security in Texas. So I decided to check it out. And sure enough, I found out that someone had told the 112th Military Intelligence Group at 4th Army Headquarters at Fort Sam Houston to stand down that day over the protests of the unit commander, Colonel Reich.
I believe it's a mistake.
This is significant because it is standard operating procedure, especially in a known hostile city like Dallas, to supplement the Secret Service. I mean, even if we had not allowed the bubble top to be removed from the limousine, we would have placed at least 100 to 200 agents on the sidewalk without question. I mean, only a month before Dallas, UN Ambassador Adlai Stevenson was spit on and hit. There had already been several attempts on de Gaulle's life in France. We would have arrived days ahead of time, studied the route, checked all the buildings, never would have allowed all those wide open empty windows overlooking Dealey, never. We'd have had our own snipers covering the area. The minute a window went up, they'd have been on the radio. We'd have been watching the crowd, packages, rolled up newspapers, coat over and up. Never would have let a man open an umbrella along the way. Never would have allowed that limousine to slow down to 10 miles an hour, much less take that unusual curve at Houston and Elm. You would have felt an Army presence in the streets that day. None of this happened. It was a violation of the most basic protection codes we have, and it is the best indication of a massive plot in Dallas.
So I watched the film again at really, in hindsight, the total wrong age, because there's no way a
You
child
think?
should be watching that film. But I came away like, oh my gosh, it was the mafia / the communists / the government. Like I don't think Stone even
It was
knows
everybody.
exactly.
It was everybody.
Everybody had it in for JFK.
Every single organization in the world came together to kill JFK, including the Boy Scouts.
Well, and
Everybody.
The Boy Scout.
They earned a badge for that one. I'm telling you.
I
Put it all together.
there's an article that just went up today actually on the Vulture, which is asking, does Oliver Stone's JFK still hold up? And it kind of goes through, and it's actually worth reading. But I think one point that it makes, and we were alluding to the speech that Kevin Costner gives at the end, and he talks about Kennedy as the dying king. He says, avenge your dying king to prove that democracy still exists. And it's like, think about that for a second. That makes no sense.
So true.
So
Basically just says, go get your revenge. And then it'll be good. Like, really? That's the advice you have for me?
that's the message of the film.
President is assassinated and you're saying, you better make him pay.
Now, first of all,
Kill him.
Sean, you've been pretty quiet about this. What are your thoughts on this film?
Well, I'm not the biggest Oliver Stone fan in the world, but this is one of the movies of his that I like, and this struck me at a time. I saw this for the first time back in our college days, and so this was very much sort of in that heyday of really learning and studying about not just films, but the filmmakers and what they do and how they do things. And the first thing that amazed me, I mean, aside from just the ginormous cast, was that like everybody that you're used to seeing, like John Candy, perfect example, like you're used to seeing all these people sort of playing very different roles.
Right.
And the fact that like Oliver Stone has the ability to sort of get these performances out of these people, it was just like, it was almost shocking in a way. It was just like, no, that's not John Candy. Like Joe Pesci, like these, like the faces are all familiar, but like what they're doing doesn't make any sense. So it's just like, so like I really appreciated that as, somebody who was at that time really learning the filmmaking.
Especially Kevin Bacon masturbating in the film. I mean, that was.
Oh man, I watched that over and over.
I don't know how Oliver Stone pulled that out of him, but
this is also something, and
he
the
just
first
pulled it out of himself, really.
first thing I thought of, and this is a movie that came out much later, obviously, was United 93, which I saw one time. I saw it in the theater, and it was I thought it was a fantastic film, fantastically made. But it's this weird sort of thing where like the film is so effective, like the Paul Greengrass as a storyteller is so effective that like you forget for a second how like what actually happens. So like United 93, there's the moment at the end where they're all charging the cockpit, and you're so like you're rooting for them that you forget that like what it's about, and you're like, are they gonna make it? Like, are they gonna save the plane? Oh right, they don't, like this, like, and then there's that moment at the end where it all comes back together, where you're like, right, duh, this is like what really happened. So I think there is some of that in JFK, where like, and this is a lot to do with Kevin Costner's performance, because you really feel his passion and his desperation and his almost like his obsession with this, where it's just like you're watching and you get so into it that you're just like, how's it gonna end? Is he gonna like, he's gonna solve the case? Is he gonna like figure out like what really happened? And then you're like, oh right.
Oh yes, history.
Yeah. Does JFK live?
Is President Kennedy okay?
So that's something that I appreciated what he did there. I mean, it's a huge accomplishment to pull that kind of emotion.
Well, and Sean, this and Paul, you were alluding to this too. Kevin Costner was a huge star at the time this film came out. I mean, he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was like
he was a box office draw.
Right, and it's weird to say that now, because we're so far from the days when that was the case.
Yep.
And I mean, he had just come off of Dance with Wolves. I think this was his next project after that. I mean, this movie was huge. I didn't know this until I looked this up. It cost $40 million to make. It made more than $200 million.
Wow.
That means a whole mess of people saw it.
Yep.
And it's probably the biggest audience Stone has ever gotten.
Wow. Yeah.
So my question for you guys as we kind of wrap up this discussion is, I mean, we've spent a lot of time sort of poking fun at the fact that it's just fabricated and whatnot. What makes this a movie that matters? Paul, let's start with you.
I think really it comes down to the way the story was told. Oliver Stone, crazy and, odd and strange as he may be, he crafted it in such a way that you were just hooked, just as Brian said, from start to finish. And I think it comes down to, the way that he told the story, which was at a breakneck pace, so much information, with so many great actors that you just couldn't turn away from. And he used, it was one of the, it was before he did Natural Born Killers, and is that right? Was it before? It was before.
It was before.
Yeah, it was when he first started experimenting with using different film stock and kind of breaking it all up, and it was like the way it was edited and chopped was just, it was epic in that sense. It was beautifully crafted as a film.
Yeah.
Foregoing all the the misinformation kind of stuff that's in it, but that aside, it was just stellar filmmaking in terms of the editing, the shots, the acting, and the music, of course, by John Williams. It was just all beautifully crafted and put together. It was just a well-made film. Love or hate the content, it was still just a well-made, beautifully executed film. And I think that is really, its biggest claim to fame in terms of the film. In terms of it mattering as a film, I think that it's just the content of JFK. He's a fascinating figure. the story fascinates people to this day because I think that people want to believe that there was a second shooter. It's like they want to believe this conspiracy, or they want to have it proven because it's fascinating to think about. It's fascinating to think about a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most people don't want to embrace, the simple truth. That's the hardest thing to face. To say, oh, there was just one shooter. How could that possibly be? It's like, well, I hate to tell you. I mean, it's just the simple truth. Nobody wants to believe that it was just, one guy that fired off a number of bullets and was able to do it. No, it's like it's very difficult for them to believe. So, as a film that matters, I think it's one that it challenges ideas, even if you're like, somebody that's, very obviously, no, this is bullshit. It's still, even if I watch it today, I guarantee you, if I watched it right now, I'd be like, it's like one of those movies that just kind of hurts your brain. You're like, what? But it's like common sense fighting with fiction, and you're just kind of like, but I don't. And you're like, it's almost like a magic act. You know what I'm saying? It's like it tricks your mind. You get to the end of it, and you're like, but that's just not possible. And I think a film that leaves you hanging like that, I think there's something to be said for that. And I think that's, ultimately what the draw is after all these years.
Yeah, I had thrown this open to some of our listeners via Twitter, and I said, if you've got any thoughts about JFK, let us know. And Matt Tull left a comment. He said, JFK is one of my 5 favorite movies of all time. Whether you believe the film's assertions or not, it's a perfectly constructed movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think
Me and Matt are in agreement.
Ray Novashevsky, who's one of my old friends, he says, Roger Ebert named JFK one of the 10 best movies of the 90s. How does it hold up in 2013? And I think just based on our conversation, we see that it's managed to withstand the test of time pretty well. I think it does have a very timeless quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, any thoughts on why this is a movie that matters?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Paul said. I think there's something really interesting a movie has to do with. What?
Brian, just stop talking. You agreed with me. Let's move to Sean.
Yeah, but like when a movie has to deal with history, there's always something sort of intriguing about that to people.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because people want to learn more about something that they already know.
Unless they're in school learning about it.
Yeah.
It's funny how Kevin Costner does these movies that are ostensibly historical but are totally fabricated. Like The Untouchables is the same way.
Right.
I actually, it's funny. I just watched The Untouchables with my students last week, and first of all, a lot of them were like, "Oh, it ripped off Gangster Squad," and I just wanted to punch them all in the face.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like you're getting an F.
Yeah.
Get out of my classroom.
You're getting an
Is there a
F because you
principal's
don't
office
know
you can send them to?
which direction time moves. But here's the funny thing about that film, and I'm surprised it never occurred to me before, because at the end of the film, sorry, spoiler about the end of Untouchables, which is like 30 years old now, but you have the trial of Al Capone going on, and then they find, you guys remember this, they find a list of jurors that's been bribed, right?
Oh yeah.
And so they present it to the judge, and so the judge, and then Elliot Ness, played by Kevin Costner, he threatens the judge, and the judge tells the bailiff, he's like, there's like a jury next door that's been sitting in on this like murder trial. I want you to bring them in here and then send this jury in there. And I'm like, what are they going to do? They haven't heard the case.
Right.
Like, the case is closed. What trial are they deciding, right? So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. And then so Al Capone gets all pissed at this. He tells his lawyer to do something. And his lawyer's like, Your Honor, we want to change our plea from from not guilty to guilty. At which point the whole courtroom erupts, and Al Capone is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? And they're like, we got Al Capone. I'm like, I think that if your lawyer changes your plea and you don't want him to, I think you can fire him. Like, I don't think the law works that way.
It's not accurate.
It's like, nope, sorry, your lawyer said. And I was like, how did I not, like, I never caught that before.
God damn Brian De Palma.
I know. Brian De Palma. I mean, him and Stone are very much of a feather in that regard. You know,
they are. Yes,
they're politically too, right? Because didn't De Palma made?
Yep, he made Redacted. It was a pile of shit.
Redacted, which you did. Yeah, I've never seen that, but I remember your review.
Didn't Brian De Palma make that crappy movie?
Yes.
Seems like we rip on Brian De Palma a lot on this show.
You know what's funny is I worked with a guy, and I was telling him, like, yeah, we do this podcast. Like, I'll check it out. And basically, we just ripped on Brian De Palma for like 20 minutes. And he, like, loves Brian De Palma. And I remember I had to face him the next day at work. He's like, damn it, Brian Hall.
And that man's name was Brian De Palma Jr.
His name is actually Brian.
Oh,
Talk about my dad like that.
Have any of you guys actually been to Dallas to see the site Dealey Plaza?
No.
I went
No.
on Google Earth.
No,
Really?
I've been there in person one time, and it's remarkable how in such close proximity everything is. Because on the road, like, the road has never been wide. Like, basically everything is for the most part preserved as it was.
Really?
There's a star on the road on the street where it happened, and the road's never been
Interesting.
widened, and the book depository's there, and the white fence, and the grassy knoll, and everything is like right on top of each other. That, like, if you're like, it's fun to play into conspiracy theories and stuff. So, like, you're standing there and you're just sort of like looking around, and you're like, how could they not have seen where this came from? It's like, and that's also, thinking with sort of like modern day technology as well. But, like, everything was in such close proximity. You just sort of wonder, like, how did they not catch the guy, or like, this is something fishy about this. So
Well,
it's cool. It's worth checking out if anybody's
that's
ever
one
there.
thing I'll say. The film raises those questions that I think are valid, in the sense that you say, God, why would he have been in an open top car? Why would you have all these windows open? But those are questions that we only ask in hindsight.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, that's, when you think about it, like, the level of protections that we have in place for presidents today, where you have the advance team, they go out,
Yeah.
there's no room for doubt. That's in response to what happened to John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Well, but here's another piece to that puzzle. And this is, we as a people, especially Americans, I think, we don't like to believe or to accept that people screw up.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, very true.
We live under this kind of this false security blanket that, like, everybody's a good guy. The police are good.
Right.
The firemen are good. And we're raised that way all through school. We're basically told who is good and who is not. And rarely we're not told who the bad guys are enough, really. And I think that ultimately, like, we kind of grow up thinking, well, this is safe, this is not. This is safe, these are all the good guys, everything. And they're all going to protect you. Everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be good. But nobody ever stops to think, that things can go very, very wrong no matter how highly trained and professional you are. And believe me, I've seen it firsthand, while in the Army. And you see that not everything is as perfectly executed as you may think.
Right.
People do screw up and things do happen that, go well out of your bounds.
Well, and Paul, that to me explains so much about why we have conspiracies like the John F. Kennedy conspiracies. Why?
Yeah, it's like almost like an excuse.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It's the idea that sometimes bad stuff just happens.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's
Absolutely.
9/11 conspiracies, right? Oh, it was an inside job. Like, why? Because we can't accept the idea that, crazy people did something that we didn't foresee.
It's funny. That's deadly accurate. Is that we're always looking for an excuse to make it about something else other than that somebody is absolutely crazy and wants to murder and kill and do horrible things.
Right.
It's like no. There's more to it. They were brainwashed, or they were possessed by a demon, or it was something external that did it. It wasn't this crazy freaking person.
Right.
So, and we can go down a long rabbit hole there, but I don't think.
But
it's
on
the right
that
place.
note, we're going to segue into this week's movie film quiz. And since Sean got hosed last time, he's going to be the quiz master for this episode. And Sean, I believe you're going to quiz us on the film JFK or on the man JFK?
The film JFK.
All right.
Really, I
And,
might actually lose this one.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Paul is undefeated every time he's shown up here.
Cool.
So here we go. Now we got to pick some avatars here.
Oh.
Let's pick just because.
I'm gonna be the blue one.
Just because
Jake
I'm
Sully.
just because I'm catching up on it. By the way, the Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles cartoon kicks ass.
Agreed. It's better than all the other cartoons come before,
It's awesome. So
including the movie.
I caught up on a bunch of episodes this week. So let's pick your favorite Ninja Turtle.
Michelangelo.
Leonardo.
Raphael.
All right.
That was difficult.
I know.
Or Donatello.
I know.
Nobody wants to be
Yeah,
done.
he does
left out.
machines. Come on, guys.
He's a nerd. Nobody likes a nerd.
Leonardo leads.
Wow.
Raphael's cool but rude.
Yeah, Leonardo also has 2 katana blades and never cuts anything.
That's true. No, he cuts
Take that.
pizza. He cuts pizza. Come on now.
Great. Sorry, it cuts
Turbo
pizza.
Ginsu.
Can't imagine just slice a foot soldier in half, but
All right, here we
we'll
go.
cut a mean slice of pizza.
Ninja Turtles, here we go. Question number 1. In what other Kevin Costner film does his character mention, quote, I think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone?
Raphael.
Yeah.
Cowabunga! No,
Pretty sure that was the correct answer. That was
yeah.
a great movie,
The
Cowabunga.
hell?
Bull,
Yeah.
Bull Durham.
What'd you say?
Bull Durham.
That's right.
Wow.
Good guess, Brian.
Nice. Very cool.
That's impressive.
By the way, someday
is
we
an-
should talk
I'm
about
impressed.
someday we should talk about baseball movies. There's a lot of good
We
ones.
should. I agree.
Yeah.
Moneyball.
Major League, Field of Dreams,
Okay. Next question.
Sandlot. Question number 2. Oliver Stone considers JFK to be his blank, and when I say blank, he mentions another film, which is basically saying like JFK is my masterpiece. So he says Oliver Stone says JFK is my blank. which is the
Leonardo.
name of another-
Leonardo.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane.
Nope.
Michelangelo.
Go.
Masterpiece.
It's
No,
the
he
name
said
of a
a-
movie.
It's a film.
Oh, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's essentially saying it's my masterpiece, but he uses another movie.
I see. I'm retarded.
He says
Okay.
JFK is my not Citizen Kane,
Raphael?
but there's you're on the right track there.
Raphael.
Yeah,
Godfather.
that's correct.
Oh!
Dang.
Wow,
for
2 in a
Brian.
row. 2 in
I
a row for
love
Mr.
being
Hall.
a turtle.
All right, 2 for Brian. Question number 3. Martin Sheen. Zachy, ready?
Yep.
He's crazy.
Martin Sheen lover. Martin Sheen,
Martin Sheen is crazy.
who provides the narration at the beginning of the film, also played JFK in the miniseries Kennedy. What other Kennedy-centric movie did he appear in?
What other Kennedy-centric movie? What other Kennedy-centric movie? I don't know what other Kennedy-centric movie. Yeah.
What's funny is he asked this question directly to Zachy. We don't.
I know.
I
I-
think
What's
I
going on
know, but I don't know the title of it. But I think I
I-
know what it is.
Take a
Kennedy-centric.
stab at it.
I
I
have
don't
no
want to
idea.
blow it because I'm going to give it to the other guys.
Oh
well,
wait, I got it. Michelangelo.
Yeah,
Is it Bobby?
it is Bobby.
Oh, it is. That movie was poo.
That was Carlos Estevez directed
Yeah,
it.
Oh my
directed by
God.
his son.
No,
Emilio.
Or not Carlos, Emilio.
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio Estevez.
Did you see that, Paul?
Spanish name. Hell no, I didn't see that.
Oh my
But I
God.
know the answer.
That was unfortunate. I saw that. I remember I saw that that was the day. I saw that the day that my wife had her first baby shower for our first kid, and that was like,
You're like, I don't want to bring a kid in this world anymore.
well, it was like my brother-in-law and I were hanging out, and it was either that or Casino Royale. And
Yeah,
Whoops.
Casino Royale was the better choice.
anyway, sorry. I think I'm doing horribly in this quiz.
Yeah, we got 2 for Brian, 1 for Paul. Zachy is trying to catch up. Question number 4. Who in the cast of JFK shares a birthday with Oliver Stone?
Oh,
that's
for God's sake,
ridiculous.
I have no idea.
There's like 50 people in that movie.
Yeah, that's. We're just gonna keep going back and forth.
Michelangelo, Sissy Spacek.
Incorrect.
Raphael. Kevin Bacon.
Incorrect.
Leonardo.
Go ahead.
Kevin Costner.
Incorrect. I will give you guys a hint. It is a man.
Oh,
Raphael.
okay. Thank you.
Gary
Michelangelo.
Oldman.
Go ahead.
Donald Sutherland.
Nope.
Okay, I think you should tell us at this point.
It's just a guessing game at this point.
Yeah.
I will give you a hint. Paul had a great quote about this guy in a previous episode.
That
Oh,
does not help at all.
I mean, I listen to that episode every other week, but I just can't remember all the details.
I've gone through and memorized all of Paul's contributions to this show, but
We recently did
I
a
know you-
Movies That Matter that he appeared in.
Leonardo,
Yeah,
Tommy Lee Jones,
correct.
TLJ as I
Ah.
call him.
I had a great quote from Tommy Lee
Yeah,
Jones.
you said actors, something about actors aging, and Tommy Lee Jones stopped at
He just
old.
he stopped at old.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh,
Where
Paul.
I am.
All right, so I'm on the
I
board.
can't even remember.
I'm on the
Yep.
board.
2 for Brian, 1 for Paul, 1 for Zachy. Quick little fun fact: this is the only film that Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau appear in, but they never share any of the same scenes.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's right. Yeah.
Huh? Question number 5. Here we go. Oliver Stone's first choice to play Jim Garrison. His first
Leonardo.
2 choices were Harrison Ford and this man,
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Mel Gibson.
That is correct.
Can you imagine that? I picture that like the Brian, like that the the Mr. Smith
Simpsons?
Goes to Washington
Yeah.
remake.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Yeah.
Well, that's
I think Gibson would have done good in that, but the problem is that, I mean, when you hold him up to Kevin Costner has that more of that like Americana
Yeah.
kind
Right.
of like, you know, I mean, it's Paul Kent
Corn-fed.
in Man of Steel. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that perfect mold.
Right.
Mel Gibson's he's a bit more of a,
Rugged.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, he's
Yeah.
Australian.
Especially at that time. At that time in his career.
well. That leaves 2 for Brian, 2 for Zachy, and here's the tiebreaker question: who directed the film JFK?
Leonardo.
Raphael.
I'm
gonna say Oliver
Was there a
Stone?
ghost director? Was this actually directed by someone else, and Oliver Stone was a pseudonym that they used?
No.
It just happened to be a famous filmmaker.
Here it is. It's a true or false question, so the ballsy person can chime in and try to get it right. In the film, Michael Rooker plays a character named Bill Broussard. True or false? Bill Broussard is a real guy.
Raphael.
Leonardo.
Raphael.
Go ahead,
True.
Raphael.
Think carefully.
What'd you say?
True.
Incorrect.
Michelangelo. It's
Sorry.
false.
Zachy wins.
Nice job. Nice job.
All right, so as we wrap up this episode, and I really enjoyed this conversation. It's really, really insightful, really interesting, and that's what hopefully that's what we get out of the Movies That Matter conversations. Paul, since you are our guest, why don't you fill us in on all the different ways that people can find you online?
Oh, all right, very good. Well, I work for JoBlo.com, so
And
it's the,
that's
best movie site.
JOBLO.com, by the way.
Correct, JOBLO.com, best movie site on the internet. So please stop by, come see us, and also quick plug for we have a new app that you can get at the iTunes store, which is really cool. Has all the release dates for Blu-rays and theatrical releases.
Nice.
And a quick true story on that. One of the reasons that I always went back to JoBlo.com was because they had the best and most up-to-date release date section,
That's true. Yeah.
which now I am basically in charge of, and I take great pride in it. So all those updates, go through the app, and we will also be adding the video games release dates as well, because that's become quite popular. So it's free to download on iTunes. So if you have a smartphone, we only have it through. We don't have it for Android yet, but otherwise it's there. So give it a shot. It's a great way to keep track of when Blu-rays are coming out and when movies are coming out. I know that's something that I look at every single day, multiple times a day. So, and that's it. And then I also have the best movie you never saw, which I write kind of bi-weekly right now. So Fearless is up now, and I may be doing the Salt and Sea next.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
nice. That's another good one. Yeah. Brian, where can people find you?
At everythingbrian.blogspot.com.
It's Brian with an I.
Brian with an I.
And Sean?
The Brag Guy.
Moosehub.com and all of us at MrBoyProductions.com and Facebook.com/MovieFilmPodcast, MovieFilmPodcast.com. Check out The Awesome Season 1, currently airing on Hulu I think it's for free. And my episodes will be airing sometime next year, probably August or September. But catch up on season 1. It's only 10 episodes. Get ready. Season 2's coming at you.
Nice.
Very nice. And of course, you can find me at Zackie'sCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. And also at the Huffington Post, where my movie reviews appear whenever I post them. Also, be sure to send us an email at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. And also, you can find us on Stitcher Radio and iTunes. Hit up both of those places and write us a review. Every little bit helps, even if it's just a star rating. We want to hear what you have to say, so please do connect with us. On behalf of my colleagues, Brian Hall, Sean Coyle, and our special guest, Paul Shirey, my name is Zachy Hassan. This has been the Movie Film Podcast, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zach and Sean and Ryan are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
No. You will enjoy this when you see it later, Sean. Or whoever's editing.